Well, it's gonna be a tough one, I think. But the Buffalo Bandits play tonight at 6:30. Welcome back to Banditland Boulevard. Traveling to Halifax, Nova Scotia. We'll be watching on ESPN Plus. Trevor Howard, Tony LaMonica, aka Boxhead 98 TL. Another episode of Banditland Boulevard, another preview. It's felt like it's been a while because we were on another bye week, but gave
hmm
us what we thought was enough time to rest up. I don't know. I guess not. What do you think, Tony?
The injury report's still saying that Josh Burns still out. He said he was supposed to report back, but apparently not. That's not the case need be. Chris Kluche still out, obviously with his hand injury. Chase is not ready to go until probably maybe the following week. A lot of shoes to fill, especially with now the depth of our charts to, step up and be the heroes of the day. So we got to look up to Brad McCauley. Ian McKay's ready to go. He cleared concussion protocol. Thank the Lord for that.
Nanacoke.
Nanacoke is doing better after his lower body injury, so a little bit of promise. So again, we can kind of breathe a little easier knowing that some of our players that we still need in the lineup to be in. But this also gives opportunities for other players to step up and say, hey, I can do the job too as well. Especially maybe we might see Joel Taylor. We might see Sam LaRue. We might see more of Nathan. And we'll see how it goes from there. But it's up to Johnny T and the coaching staff to make the choice. But other than that, just have to keep our fingers crossed.
And the injury report, I'm just really, really absolutely confused of how that even works. Josh Byrne was cleared off of, well, it was cleared off last week off the injury reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Then they make a little trip down to, I believe it was, I don't even remember, was it Fort Lauderdale, Florida? A bunch of the guys went down last week for their bye week, and he
I
seemed fine.
think so.
He was taking pictures and he was standing on that leg and it was fine. I don't know if it's a precautionary thing or if he re-injured it in practice, but to see the news come in today that Josh Byrne is on the injury reserve, oh man, I thought I was looking forward to seeing him come back. And at least we got Chase Frazier locked in on another 1 year deal, so that's good. But he won't
Yep.
be playing. Chris Klucha, we don't even know when his timetable is, but the fact that we get to see Ian McKay out there, the fact that we get to see Tehoka come back and Big Nate K, and we get to see guys like Sam LaRue, who was called up to the active roster today for
Yep.
defensive depth. You look at the Bandits right now, and we've seen how their depth shows up on when the lights go on, right? But
Absolutely.
still, that Josh Byrne news is a gut punch, and we don't take any teams lightly, especially on this show. The 5-5 Halifax Thunderbirds are so far east, so we got to play an early game at 6:30. We're recording this at 4 o'clock, but it's gonna be tough. I would feel a lot more confident if Josh Byrne was still active.
Yeah, especially having number 22 back in the lineup would definitely boost our offense. And again, like this is a hard decision for Johnny T to make, especially with the fact, is he 100% ready to go? We don't know that quite sure. But again, maybe this is a precautionary measure to say, I want to keep it safe with him. I want to make sure he's 100% ready to go. And if he's not ready, so be it. Let him sit out, let him heal. But again, we have the depth to actually win this game. But it's going to be a lot tougher than we all think because we're going to have to rely on the secondary guys to come up and really step their game up and have their opportunities to play against one of the toughest teams in the league is Halifax Thunderbirds.
And the thing about the injury report is we don't know if Dalton Sulver is active because he was out last game. We don't know if
Yep.
Ethan O'Connor is active. He was out last game. So if anybody knows, please feel free to reach out. But
Yeah, that'd be
we
great.
definitely need some of those depth guys because now Brandon Robinson is out for the game. He's injured. And that's another gut punch because he's that go-to guy on the depth side of things. And the fact that he's going to be out, we're going to have to ask from a lot from guys like Brad McCauley and guys like Ian McKay, and guys that can really just carry the load. We might need to see some defensemen shoot the ball. I mean, we saw against Rochester when we were down a bunch of guys. We saw Bryce Sweeting score a nice goal. And we need some of that defensive shine. We need them to turn into a little bit of a transition today. Dylan Robinson should step up and take some shots at the net. Ian McKay, we know, is going to take some shots at the net. And
He'll be busy.
Definitely. But the other thing is you got Nanticoke back. You have Dane Smith, who's lighting the league on fire, putting the league on notice. I don't think they're in bad hands, but this game is going to be another trap game. No doubt about it in my mind whatsoever.
Yeah, very close scoring. I think it's going to be a back and forth in the beginning to, like we've witnessed so far in the last like 6 games. It's been, hit and miss. It's also, we got to read the way how they play, then we could shut it down, or it's like keep toe to toe until we figure it out, and then just put the foot on the gas pedal at the second half. But other than that, looking into the stats too as well, Halifax is no joke, even though they're at 500 right now, 5-5 to our 8-2. Their scoring is unbelievable, but we got that slight edge on goaltending because of Matt Vince, and he's going to be another key player in this game, especially with how the Bandits are going to have to hold back Halifax's firepower.
Last time Buffalo played Halifax, they had a lot of guys healthy, especially 22. He scored 7 goals in that game in an 18-13 Bandits victory. That was the day before New Year's Eve, where I got one of the hottest looking T-shirts ever. The Bandits, it was their tuxedo T-shirt. I got it that night, and absolutely amazing. I still have it somewhere around here. I don't know if I can find it right now, but I still have it around here somewhere. I think Tony has it in his hand. Maybe.
I think so. Let me just find it out. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Yes, that shirt right there. That was the last time we played Halifax, and we smoked them. We actually almost put up 20 on them, 18-13. We might not have those similar amount of numbers, but as long as defense locks it in, this is going to be a battle of the defenses because – the Bandits, I mean, I give Halifax a lot of credit because they don't really have the best built roster right now. They're still kind of like the old Nighthawks teams, and they're actually pretty old in age demographically, but they're run by such a great guy, such a great coach in Micah Kersey, which keeps them in any form of playoff contention whatsoever. The number one guy on that sheet they need to circle is Cody Jamieson. And if they circle him and they lock him down hard, I think I don't think Ryan Benesh. I think
he's
Benny
he's
too.
Still in this. Yeah, he's still in the game too.
You circle Benny, you circle Jamieson. I think the Bandits hold them down and win this game. The only thing is we need a big game from Matt Vince. The defense can do it all, but Vince needs to cover the high side, man. Out of all games this year, 3-way tie for first place because the Nighthawks and the Riptide went to OT, played 14 minutes of overtime before the Nighthawks scored last week. So we are back to a 3-way tie between Toronto and Rochester and obviously us. This is a big game that we have to win. Toronto has 2 games this weekend. They play Philly on Monday, and
weird.
I'm blanking on who they play Saturday night. I can't really remember at this point, but they got 2 games this weekend, so it's huge if the Buffalo Bandits win and control their own destiny. But you look at the other side of things, it's not looking good on the injury side, but the Bandits have proven time and time again that they have the depth to carry these games. They may be close, they may be nail-biting, and you might be chewing your fingers down to the last part of your bone there, but the Bandits seem to come out with the win. And Josh Byrne, believe it or not, got injured over a month ago. We've missed Josh Byrne from action for over a month, and the Bandits have not lost a game since the Rochester game at the War Memorial in January. They had an undefeated February. We hope we can start this off with an undefeated March, but it starts with goaltending. So I think this defense is good enough to hold down the Halifax Thunderbirds to a reasonable amount of goals. Obviously, can't really shut them out. I mean, we have never seen that before, but holding them under 10 should be a priority for Matt Vince. And then you got to give guys like Ian McKay the ball, Dane Smith, because those are going to be the guys that Halifax is going to be circling. So you really got to shoot the ball any way you can, get creative, run some new plays, and get some defensemen to shoot the ball because they will not be expecting it. And if they go 5-1 on Hill, sheesh, this game is over.
Yeah, I got to at least agree with you on that, especially the transition game is going to have to be huge too as well, especially after Matt Vince makes this crucial save that we transition to the offensive side. I mean, take chances, do what you got to do to score the goals because you can't really put the weight all on number 92 as well, even though he's one of your go-to guys and for a fact they're going to watch him like a hawk this week, especially going into this game tonight. But also, if God forbid we don't get any of those players back the following week when we play them again on March 10th, You know they're going to have to watch Dane Smith, number 92, because he controls the momentum. He controls the plays. But somebody, like you said, like Brad McCauley or Ian McKay or even Dylan Robinson, I could go through the whole roster.
Sam LaRue.
Needs to step up. Sam LaRue also offensively. And Tehoka Nanticoke's got to step up too, is the fact that someone has to say, I'll do it, coach. It's my turn. You don't have to let him have all the weight on his shoulders.
Steve Priolo, too. Steve Priolo should shoot the ball, too.
To comment on what you just said about Toronto, they have a tough task ahead of them this Saturday they play Rochester. Oof. And then after that, on Monday, they do play Philadelphia 2 days later. So that's going to be kind of crucial for them, too, as well, to stay healthy and whatnot. But we're also not – we're not hoping for injuries, but we're also hoping for losses because one of the two teams between Rochester and Toronto, they're both 8-2. And
we don't even care who wins that game. We don't even care.
We don't. But Philly, we actually want you to win against Toronto. So go ahead and take care of them on Monday. Yep. But getting back to the game in hand, like you said, it's going to be the battle of defenses. And yes, I think we're pretty well stacked, but they're also well stacked offensively. You forgot Stotts, you got Benny, you got Jamerson, I could go through a whole list of Halifax.
Is Vinarelli still playing? Is Corey Vinarelli still playing? Vinarelli?
I have to look at the roster. I really didn't.
They're actually veterans that the Bandits have seen multiple times. So that could be beneficial for the Buffalo Bandits going into this game. Is that they've played them a bunch of times, especially when they played it over in Rochester before the expansion happened.
Absolutely.
So they've seen them a whole bunch, but it's going to be a battle of the goaltending and defense. I think more consistently, our defense is very hit or miss. I'm just going to say that right now. And I don't want the Bandits to be the Sabres. I don't want them to miss a couple guys in that lineup.
Right.
And then lose a game or two and then have the coach make excuses because they're injured. Every team is injured. Do not fade off into the sunset like the Sabres, where you have a playoff spot right there. Then you get too confident, you get too cocky, and then you fall out of that position. And then you're like, oh, because we're injured.
Right.
The Sabres are a poorly run organization. Their GM, coach, it's freaking terrible. But at least we have the Buffalo Bandits here. And John Tavares never makes excuses. He tells you how it is. He doesn't give you the GM coach speech. He's not a politician. He won't tell you what you want to hear. He'll tell you what's going on. So the Bandits, I want you to be so anti-Sabres because the Sabres have, quite frankly, been making me very angry lately. I don't want – I just want to have a good team that plays in the KeyBank Center, a consistently good team, and that's what the Buffalo Bandits have been doing since 2017.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. As the fact that they have, they go out there every night, they don't get paid the millions of dollars like these guys do in the NHL or the NFL.
They show way
more passion and way more perseverance for this game. And you know what? We should be not spending the money on. Don't get me wrong, folks. If you want to spend money on hockey and football, God bless you. That's your choice. But honestly, in our choices and in our feelings of the matter, we prefer to spend the dollars on the little guys, even though the NLL is starting to grow. I cannot wait for them to get even bigger because of the fact that we are supporting not younger, but the more youthful reason of the lacrosse league and the league different than our majors. But this is major to us.
And it's
major to us.
It's way too underground for modern society. I feel like not a lot of people know it. And
not a lot of credit
if they want to find out about it, take them to their first game in Buffalo.
Yeah,
they will be hooked, and they would want more and more and more of the product. I'm wearing a Sabre sweatshirt because I was supposed to go to the December 23rd game against Tampa Bay, and then the storm happened, the winter storm happened, and then it got pushed till tomorrow. So I'll be in section 313, I believe. So if you're there, say hey to me. Ready to watch the Tampa Bay Lightning absolutely curb stomp us into the ground. I got to get up because I'm down here in Fredonia, so I'll probably have to wake up early, get ready to go because it's 12:30 face-off to watch the Sabres get absolutely curb stomped by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then we got to hear our funny head coach talk about how we're injured, and that's the reason why we lose games. I just want at least one good team in the KeyBank Center. The Bandits do it for me. It would really be a pick-me-up if we win this game tonight and we win it I think Brad McCauley called it a depth check. That's exactly what it is. This is round 3 of the depth boxing match we're kind of going through here. We're already we're already 2-0, 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it 3 for 3.
Let's make it 3 for 3. Mm-hmm. And also, guys, before we get to the keys of the game, we'd like to thank the sponsor, Mitchell's Tavern, located at 734 Sheridan Drive up in Tonawanda, New York. If you want the best beef on wick in town, go to Mitchell's Tavern in Tonawanda. So if you guys want to check it out, they got great food, amazing service. They've been I've been basically a regular there now. So, guys, if you want to check it out, go try it. And hopefully all the Bandit players. And don't forget to mention both Trevor and myself to say, hey, the guys from Banditland Boulevard,
tell them that we sent you.
Yeah, to say you guys are the best. We want to see if you guys can prove it. And believe me, it's divine every time. So go on and check it out.
Big shout out to you, Mitchell's Tavern. You guys provide good stuff. And, of course, you're our first ever sponsor, so we love that.
Absolutely.
Keys to the game. Okay. We know your depth, okay? We already know about it. So, The last thing we want is another guy to leave the bench. So stay out of the freaking penalty box. How does that sound?
Yes, we need to.
Stay out of the box.
We need to keep composed. We cannot sacrifice anything. We cannot make any stupid mistakes out there. You guys got to really think long and hard before you want to run your mouth and just to increase the referees on top. Don't forget, we're playing. It's 2-on-1 here.
Always.
We always got to be on our toes and bite your tongue, bite your lip, do what you got to do to stay out of the box, but just don't add to it because it's just going to get you guys feeling worse. And you're right. We have to stay out of the box because no matter what, honestly, who do you put out there for the shorthanded? We got guys that can do it, but also who do you put out there for the power play? We got to figure that out until game time. But I'm sure Johnny T has got a mindset and a game plan to go in there and go, we'll be fine. Just we have to take it one quarter at a time, and we'll come out on top.
And that brings me to my next one. We need production on power play. There was a couple of times against Philly where they hit a couple posts. But then there were some other times that were beyond their control, where passes were going over their heads. They're getting over and back violations, stuff, uncharacteristic stuff on the 5-on-4 power play. We never get a 5-on-3, so the referees would never let that happen. But 5-on-4, man advantage, you got to score on that power play. With your depth situation, you're missing your guy at the top of the restraining line in Josh Byrne, but you have the other guy there in Dane Smith. I would honestly put Dalton Sulver or Brad McCauley at that spot. We need that lefty shot that can you could just shoot that laser bounce shot, could go over the pad, go through the 5-hole. Maybe even you could try to snipe a top corner, but I don't know. Hill's usually pretty good in those areas. You got to shoot it low on Hill, and hopefully good things happen. Even though Josh Byrne, I think last time they faced against each other, he scored 4 over the shoulder, but that's just how good Josh Byrne is. He'll throw that radar gun type of shot that you didn't even see go past you. So obviously missing that, but look for guys like Dalton Sulver on that power play. Look at guys like Brad McCauley, obviously Dane Smith, and Ian McKay will probably get the refs out there. We're missing the big screen guy at the top of the crease in front of the net and Brandon Robinson. So you got to accommodate for that position as well. But I think we're in good hands if you can score on your power plays, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, it's like the NFL. I think John Madden used to say it all the time. He used to say, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes wins that game, which is the least amount of penalties, even though the Bandits got a lot of penalties against Philadelphia, where I would say 75% of those were unwarranted and absolute BS, and it was the referees trying to push a narrative, but that's beyond the Bandits' control. We can't control what the boys in the striped shirts are saying, so we got to get production on that power play.
Yeah, power play is definitely going to step up, and we got to take advantage when we get them. Also, we got to face-off wise, Max, you're going up against Withers again. That's going to be another tough task.
Easier than Trevor Baptiste, though. It's easier on paper than Trevor Baptiste.
It is, but honestly, he's going to have to be the man in control too, is to make sure to win those face-offs when needed. Also, the fact that when the Buffalo Bandits have to be scoring, when they have to score at the right moment. They can't do it just all the time. I think don't get yourself gassed out early. Think before you react, and then be patient. Also to score when needed. take the opportunities when you can. Don't do anything fancy. It's like a one pass, one shot. Just don't do multiple passes before you get them confused. Just take the 1-and-1. That's all you basically can do. And that's the offensive standard as of right now. I mean, if you had Byrne, Kluche, Chase, all those guys out there that know the game plan, that know each other really well. I'm not saying that McCauley or McKay or any of those other guys don't know the game plan, but it just seems like the chemistry is just more clean and more precise with having the natural guys out, the natural five out there. And you know what? If Tehoka's got to be the guy out there to do stuff with Dane Smith, so be it. Brad McCauley has proven time and time again, he can score too. He can play well.
He's a weapon.
He is a weapon. So use him too. Don't be afraid to mix things up. But also, it's the 1-and-1. One pass, one shot, get the goal. Let's move on. End of story.
Run the Darius Kilgore-based offense. Run the tic-tac-toe power play. Teams used to not be able to stop that. Or as Delvin Powell called it on one of our interviews, the backyard lacrosse power play, where you just find the open guy, run it, fast-paced passing, just get open and shoot the ball. That's it. Face-offs, they have to be there, definitely. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, I think this is still our game to win. You know what? If you were to tell me in the beginning of the season, if we started this, pretend we're 0-0, you're telling me Chase Frazier's out, Chris Kluche's out, Josh Byrne's out, I would say you're crazy if you think we win this game. But they have proven us time and time again. Depth check. They knock teams out with that lethal knockout punch. Won in overtime, and they beat, at the time, the best team in the league by 3 goals with a lot of their stars out. So I still have confidence in this team.
Sure do.
Time to do our players to watch. I'll do my first one right now. Freshly called off the practice squad, playing in his first game. He's going to really have a great game defensively. I hope we can see him take some shots from the restraining line, create some plays, get some assists, and that's Sam LaRue. We've seen that guy in a couple exhibition games, and my gosh, I mean, that guy can lay the boom. That guy is a crisp passer. He knows how to control that restraining line. I think he'll pick up right where he left off from the exhibition game. So Sam LaRue, I think he wears number 13 right now. It would be nice to have a guy like Jordan Storos right now. Don't even get me wrong. Like, if we had him on the back burner, that'd be nice, but obviously we don't. He's playing over in Rochester. But Sam LaRue is probably that next guy. But he's definitely that player to watch for me. I think this will be a true test tonight to see if he can be on this roster full-time going into the playoffs.
Absolutely. I like that pick. But obviously, people are going to be saying about Dane Smith. It's going to be Dane Smith that's going to have to lead the way. I couldn't agree more. But again, guys, we cannot.
He's that guy that they're circling on the roster. He's that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. But we cannot always put a burden on just him. Like I said it before, this is a moment where, God forbid, if we have injuries and there's key players that can score at will, that now for those backup players in the depth, those are the guys that need to step up. And we praise this time and time again with Brad McCauley. This is my guy. Brad McCauley is going to be the guy I think is going to have to really step up. And I'm not saying go more than do your 8-9 points, what you do. But if you get any points, that's still A+ in my book, to where you contribute, to where you, be the playmaker or be the goal scorer. He's proven that time and time again to me, to the fans, and to his team, and to the upper hand. He can play the sport of lacrosse. And boy, give him the ball tonight. I got a feeling he's going to have another Hattie.
Yeah, I think so too. Final player to watch is Matt Vince, without a doubt. I mean, 48's got to step it up. He's got to cover that high side. If he covers that high side, doesn't give a guy like Jameson or Benesh an open lane to shoot the ball, that's credit to the defense. I mean, this game is over. This game is all Bandits all day. If you shut down those 2 players, forget about it. This game is done. But it is going to be close, so I think we should go into our score predictions now. I will stay confident despite the unfortunate news on the injury report today, which was kind of a gut punch. I was at work at the time, and I saw that, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The injury bug is back.
It hurts.
And he got a lot stronger, and he got a little venom in the bloodstream with that bite. But the injury bug is back, but I don't think the Bandits are going to back down whatsoever. I have the Bandits winning this game. I originally went into this week 14-8 because I thought Josh Byrne and Chase Frazier were coming back. Yeah. I'm going to change my score to 12-9 Buffalo.
Wow. You can take another 3, Barry. Well, like you said, I think this is going to be a battle of the defenses and also a trap game in my book.
Yes, very, very close the whole way through.
This is going to come down to the very end, and I think it's going to be a back and forth battle. It will be tough. I didn't predict overtime when the Bandits beat Philadelphia, so I'm going to predict overtime tonight. Bandits win 12-11.
Who do you think gets that OT goal? Bucky, the OT guy?
Yeah, you know what? We did sleep on this podcast about Kyle Buchanan. He's still out there too.
We also slept on Adam Bomberry too.
Yeah, we got that as well. So guys, we didn't forget you. So I'm just letting you know right now. And
never
never
will.
I am going to call that out. I think Bucky's going to get the game winner in OT.
What was the score again? You said 12-11 OT?
In overtime. Kyle Buchanan is the game-winning goal scorer for the Buffalo Bandits.
And we're not going to do some stupid Rochester Nighthawks crap where I think they're absolute frauds, by the way. I mean, they went to 14 minutes of overtime against the Riptide and couldn't score until the 14th minute. Those guys are absolute frauds. The Bandits, without their number one star in Josh Byrne, in my honest opinion, they're still a better team than Rochester, and they proved that a couple weeks ago, winning 3 weeks ago, they won 13-10. I mean, just give me a break. We are so much better. But I think if we go to OT, I think we get it done. We get it done early like we did last time. I think Dane scored a minute 7 into OT against the Philadelphia Wings. So I personally don't think we have to worry about overtime. I think Matt Vince is more motivated tonight than ever. This could age like sour milk, and I don't really care if it does. But I just have that feeling that Matt Vince is going to lock it down. He's going to be in a good headspace. And they're going to take this 12-9. I mean, I think the Bandits go 9-2 and pretty much secure a winning season since, correct me if I'm wrong, 2018, they went, 8-10, I think they did. But they were still a very, very – they really didn't have an identity. They really didn't have a head coach that was as good as John Tavares was at the time. But this will be our third or fourth consecutive season without a losing season.
That is amazing itself, just to say how good this Buffalo team is that they have the heart and soul of Buffalo in the city and all their fans. And I couldn't think more of a better team to support than these guys in the orange and black. Also, guys, before we do head out, we'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please hit that notification bell every time we come on board. And to those that want to get on the show, message Trevor or myself. We will be more than happy to have you guys on board, but we need to know ahead of schedule so we can get you guys on board. We can walk you through it, and then we can go from there. Also, we'd like to have those that listen to us on Spotify.fm. Please check us out there for your radio needs. If you guys rather listen to us than see us,
if you're in your car and you need something to listen to in the background, or if you're doing something around the house, you need something to listen to in the background. We're also on Spotify, too, at the same place, Banditland Boulevard.
Yep, and also to our only sponsor at the moment, Mitchell's Tavern. Like I said, folks, go try it out. Don't forget to mention Trevor and myself and say Banditland Boulevard said this was the best place for beef and wick. Go for it. You know what? We hope to see you guys there soon. Trevor, actually, well before we do leave, there is an event, and I'm going to bring this up, that Mitchell's Tavern for a softball team. I know this is not the sport of lacrosse, but they have a beer blast going on April 14th, which happens to be on a Friday at 7:30. If you guys are interested in coming on board, it's $20 for 3 straight hours of drinking. We'll have 50-50 split club. Basically, you get domestic beers and types of mixers for the next 3 hours, and you'll also be helping supporting the Mitchell's Tavern softball team. So if you guys want to check that out, please come on board April 14th at Mitchell's Tavern. That would be a Friday evening starting at 7:30, goes to 10:30.
Absolutely. Well said. You guys keep making good food, and we'll keep making good podcasts. How does that sound? That sounds pretty good to me.
We also got to make sure to get out there and do one too at that place.
Absolutely. We got to do a live show. We'll definitely figure out
there for sure
with those boys over there. 12-9. You got 12-11 in overtime. Buffalo Bandits, Week 13 preview versus the Halifax Thunderbirds on the road, 6:30, because they're a whole hour ahead of time over there at Atlantic Standard Time. We're over here at Eastern Time, so do not miss it. It's not a typo. 6:30. Watch the game on ESPN+.
And also, guys, we only have one sentence left to say before we head out of this show. Trevor,
3 words. We got 3 words for you. 3 words for you.
Ready?
Let's go. Bandits. Let's freaking go.
Go.
Let's run it up. Let's
go.
Go get them, boys.